I really wasn't aware of that up until this point. No, not at all. Wow, thank you for telling me. That's really cool.
Do you feel like you played it at that level?
You know, if this was the end of the season, I would probably have this conversation with you. But, it's only midway season, and I'm not really focused on that now. At the end of the season, if I'm still on all that stuff, then I'll probably acknowledge it up to this point just because, we still got work to do. I feel like I still definitely have a lot more to prove, and, just taking it 1 week at a time.
Coach Day gave all you guys a list of 3 things to get better at, 3 things you're doing well. What was on your list? You can share.
Just being a better overall leader, because I feel like at times I've been there and at times it's kind of been falling back to stepping up to the plate a little bit more when it comes to that. Just improving like on the technique, like in the pass game area, working on my feet and hands, and in the run game, keeping my hands inside and keeping a nice base. So we've been working on a lot of stuff like that, especially during that bye week. That's where we really were focusing on working on those things, and he was putting drills in place for us to get better at it.
The things that he gave you to work on, or that Stu Drava gave you to work on, were those things were already on your mind, or was it any kind of a revelation?
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely on my mind. Because even prior to that, the 3 things that we're doing good and 3 things that we're doing bad, he would just straight up tell us what we need to work on. That's why I appreciate Coach Stuggs. He's brutally honest, and he just tells you what you need to get better, and he's right with all the stuff that he told me to get better at. So I already had an idea of what I needed to get better at, and having that meeting with him, talking about the 3 things, that just reassured everything. And that coming out that week, I was just really focused, and like I am now, I've been more aware of how my feet have been, and my pass pro, and where my hands are, and just keeping all that stuff in mind.
Hey, Wyatt, I'm going to fact check something that Josh said yesterday. Does anyone do a really good Coach Stud impression?
Yeah, it was Josh Myers.
Oh, it was Josh.
Yeah, Josh
huh?
Myers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
He's probably too scared to say it, but he does it all the time.
He exactly was too scared to say it.
Yeah.
It's just all rest,
he also said that you guys get along really well, and that's why you've got an on-field chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you have in common, and what do you guys do to bond?
We kind of just hang out with each other, and just even like I often feel like we'll go to have lunch or dinner with each other, and we always hang out with each other on the weekends. Play Fortnite, a little bit of this and that. So, but yeah, stuff like that.
How would you assess the way he's played this year?
Josh?
Yeah.
Oh, he's been great. I mean, the calls and just being confident and telling us and leading the offensive line. I mean, it's been exceptional.
Can you speak as a guard, the responsibility the center has to make all those calls, make sure that you guys are all in sync?
His responsibility is huge. If he's not clear, then we're all not clear because, the role that he's playing, he has to be concise with his calls. Otherwise, half the lines aren't going to know what they're doing. And then, without the line, you can't really have much of an offense. So his leadership in that aspect has been huge, and that's why I feel like we've been having a lot of the success we've had up front.
You guys came in together, you and Josh, and you're on similar timelines in terms of being full-time starters at the same time. Just what's impressed you about the way he's sort of gone about his work to get to the point where he became a starter this year?
Just like even the off-season workouts, just starting from there. I saw, a different look in his eye, and he was just, I'm pretty sure he was making like a top lift competitor every week, and I think it's called Buckeye Tough Guy. Yeah, and he made it multiple times, and just from that aspect, leading in the workouts, it's very simple why it transversed over on the field, because the work and time that he put in to put himself in the position that he's in now is why he's been having a lot of success. Excuse me.
How far did he have to come when you first saw him here as both a guy who didn't really have a lot of pass pro experience and then a guy who never played center before? And how rough was it?
As far as like when we first got here to now, well, yeah. So like you said, when we first got here, I actually didn't even know this, but that whole wing T offense. Because I remember he was telling me when we first got up here that he was like, "Man, I gotta get used to this, pass pro stuff." I didn't do a lot of it, so and he did a lot of stuff with Coach Stud. Coach Stud invested a lot of time with him just working on pass setting out of a guard. And then, like you said, and then all of a sudden, our second year, he had the transverse to center. And it almost seemed like he did that with a lot more ease, just at guard. It looked like he was just more comfortable. And he, very early on, he rarely had issues snapping and getting out of the stance. So he transversed in that role very well.
Is there something about his demeanor or his intellect that makes him the guy who should be center?
Oh yeah, he's always in the film room, always with Coach Stud, and he'll even go in there when we're not even in there just to get extra stuff, just to make sure that he's sure. Because like I said, I mean, if he's not sure, then we're not going to have a very functioning offensive line. So he goes above and beyond the efforts it takes to have preparation for the game and just be prepared overall. So yeah, he goes above and beyond.
How much football did you get to watch over the weekend?
I got to watch a lot. Yeah, I was.
Go ahead.
Watching the Texas-Oklahoma game, of course, and then the Georgia-South Carolina.
What'd you think? How you guys kind of like match up? You ever imagine yourself y'all in a game against who you're watching? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, just how you would. Like a lot of fans do and sports writers do.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. But I mean also at the same time, we kind of just try to keep it 1 week at a time. But yeah, no, I mean, from my perspective, I like watching the other offensive lines play, just seeing how we compare.
Yeah.
And
what'd you think? I mean, how do y'all compare?
Well, I mean, like I said, we're kind of more so focused on ourselves, but I feel like we've been doing good up to this point.
Yeah.
And just kind of taking it 1 week at a time.
When you guys go on the road like this week, is it tougher to play a night game versus a day game?
Yeah, just because. Well, at least in my perspective, I feel like night games, I'm more one of those guys. I like the noon games just because, you wake up and then it's time to go. And then, we just get so excited for those games. You just got to be you got to be relaxed and subtle and just kind of wait and build that energy as it moves on. So I would prefer a noon game, but I mean, night games, it is a little different, especially, when we're going in their territory. They're a great program, and, it's going to be a night game, and everyone's going to be juiced up and ready to play. So just as far as that aspect, I would think so.
Will you even notice it's Friday? I mean, when you guys get locked into a schedule, obviously y'all had last week off, but does it throw any kind of monkey wrench in there that they've put it on Friday instead of Saturday? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, this whole week we kind of been thrown for a loop just because we had, full padded practice on Sunday, which was Tuesday, Buckeye time. So kind of this whole week I've been forgetting what the actual day is. And it really doesn't even feel like that because of that Sunday practice, that extra practice that we had this week. So, yes, it really doesn't feel like we're playing on Friday. Like today felt like the actual Thursday practice that we typically have. But
yeah, where do you think this offense can get better second half? I mean, from your vantage point, you guys, have done a good job up front so far. But where can y'all improve?
You can always improve on just being tougher. And finishing a lot more blocks. And I know that's kind of been the focus of what I've been saying all the time. But it's very key because even in this past game, there were times where, like even just myself included, there were certain times where I would finish the block more or get more on a guy. It could have been a better, a lot smoother.
Yeah.
So just finishing blocks more and being tougher and I would probably say that's it.
But do you think that Michigan State game was maybe the first heavyweight bout y'all had this year from start to finish, and y'all came through it? I mean, is there
definitely
a sense of that y'all kind of showed there is some toughness here along with everything else?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that first quarter definitely, it was very tough. We were kind of like, okay, we're in a game now. So, we kind of just had to take a step back, relax, just believe in technique and just really just focus on communicating. And actually, that's another thing I would add is, just being better overall communicators. Because, at times, and I'm sure it probably looked that way, there was miscommunication, but we fixed that up after that first quarter.
You talked earlier about line calls for Josh. Walk me through, he goes up to the line, what's he looking for? What is he recognizing? What is, something that would cause him to make a line call? And what is he, is he saying, you got that guy, you got that guy? Walk me through that process for you guys.
So basically he comes out and he, looks for the backer that we're going to. And now obviously you don't just want to be blatant about it just because you don't want the other teams knowing what's going on. So he kind of just goes and kind of points some guys out. And, from there, he's making certain calls and who's blocking with who. And it's crazy because he does all this in the short couple seconds we have in order to snap the ball. So, he comes up, figures out we all figure out what the play is. We look at the defense, and he just starts guiding us.
Thank you, Wyatt.
No problem.